What is up, YouTube? LazeeLlama here, and here we are back with some Storm Simulator. And I did a little bit of research, and what it seems like is we get more mutagen here when we spend more energy. And if we spend more energy, this goes down. I also read somewhere, I don't know how true this is, but we should save to about 1,000,000 mutagen, which seems like it'll take a while from being where we're at. Don't know how old the info was, and again, I just quickly kind of skimmed through things, but I'm pretty sure that's what we're going to be aiming for. So I'm going to buy all 15 of the cheapest upgrades, which probably maybe hindered a lot. No, I guess not. We actually got all the territory upgrades, which into Locust 2 now. I don't know how much we're going to buy. I'm just going to buy 10% of those. We're going to come in here and buy as many hives as possible, and then come back and buy, screw it. We're going to buy all those, and then just buy a ton of hives. That's what I decided we're doing. So now we have an or hive queen, sorry. We have a ton of hive queens producing hives. That should produce quite a lot, and that produces, yeah, that's a lot of hives per second. I mean, we were buying to the 11th exponent a second ago, but that's still pretty ridiculous. We can't get up here until we get this up to 1,000,000, and you don't want to do it right away. I also looked into that. You want to save up till you can get a couple of them before you even do it, because you'd still make more doing this. There's probably a bunch of cheap upgrades we can do. There is, as you saw. If we buy a ton of these, it's not going to make a difference, and they're just going to use the rest of our larva. So we're going to kind of just let that do its thing. Actually, what does that do? I'm not using like the rest of our larva. How much can we buy? We'll buy it just to get above 400k there. We'll deal with that, let that kind of do its own thing. Larva is kind of low right now. I don't really want to buy any upgrades regarding to that there. How much is Locust producing? A lot, right? Okay. Again, territory-wise, we don't really use much territory anywhere. Okay, we kind of went over this, and territory is just not used in a lot of spots. And if you look up here where territory is actually used, I think it's only energy stuff, but you can't see that. We need more of these. I did look into that. I don't know how many we want a total of, but for example, I can just buy 5k. It uses 50,000 energy. Our mutagen actually went up, and I didn't use energy. So I maybe just buying upgrades. Maybe it's off of upgrades, actually. Sorry, that might be upgrades. The more energy brings down the timer, because the timer may have gone up. Oh, no, I can already do it. No, we don't want to do that. Like the energy. I think we want to buy more of these, though. So we're at, I want to see what 5,000 does for us. We're at 83%. That gives it the 90%. Didn't give us any mutagen. I don't think we want to spend too much on that. Bats, again, make things better. They just cost a lot of energy. So we can't really buy that many, but we'll just buy 300 of them with what energy we can. I don't think... See, this went up now because we have less energy. So, again, I think we want to save it to about 1,000,000 mutagen, or that's what the goal is going to be, unless this episode goes up or you guys tell me completely different. That's what I'm going to try to do. I think we're going to just stay at 10,000 of these and probably just 1,300 of these. Maybe up this a little bit. But I believe the rest of the energy stuff we want to do is all going to be mainly rush on our... I don't know if this is better. I use a 1,600 for that much. Or cloning is better. I think cloning is what we're going to do. Maybe not. 1,600, 12, that does 2, so you'd need... Yeah, cloning is better. It looks like cloning is better. Much better, actually. So we'll be cloning with the excess energy we get to then give us more larvae. So that's going to be the plan. I'm also going to store all of that as we can. Just cocoon it all. I don't know what the highest amount we should cocoon is. Again, it says we can clone up to that much. So that's how many we're going to try to cocoon, I suppose. And that's going to be about it for this little update. These may go down to 2 days a week just because I can kind of do a lot in an episode, and like I can do a couple days in an episode rather than just doing 2 days, because I can't really... They might actually... Maybe we'll still do the every other. Maybe they'll just get down to like 10-minute videos. That's probably what we'll do. So it'll just be less progress in them. So I can still keep them 3 days a week for you guys. Let me know what you guys think about that. I could probably get 3 days worth in a good video to get it up to 15-20 minutes, because again, some of them are going to be quick little updates like this. Again, I did do a little bit of research just to kind of get ahead of my soldiers. Oh man, head of my shoulders, to keep progressing. So that's that. Again, mutagen, we can buy these upgrades down here. Oh, that's not it. Is it? Yeah, these upgrades here, but they get to cost more than just one as you buy one. So I think if we buy one, it goes up instantly to like 100k, I think, for the next one or something. And I don't know what we're going to want to start with unlocking. These are all just mutagen for like rushing stuff with our energy. Obviously, off the bat mutagen might be good right off the bat, or the clones could be good because cloning is, I think, going to be the more important thing. But again, having bats makes clones better anyways because bats just produce the hatcheries are definitely what we want. I totally forgot that one was up here. We're going that first, but bats probably second. We'll probably just go in order because those first three seem pretty great. But yeah, meat. So it just makes more meat. Meat's generally not the issue, and meat really just goes excessively to energy stuff. I believe that's actually, or sorry, not energy, territory stuff. I meant. I think that's actually what costs most of it. Yeah, that's what like uses all of our meat. It looks like if I bought, we'll buy it. But yeah, see how it uses like most of the meat. Meat's used up by territory, but territory again, I think is only used up by nexuses and maybe upgrades. No, what? It doesn't seem like they're used for much. And I found it last time, and I do this probably all the time because again, it's just something I always kind of forget. But I think it's only the nexus, so I don't think territory actually matters to build more of, except for maybe getting more mutagen. Because you get more unlocks or achievements. They're actually clicking the achievements. So these again are what take up the bring up mutagen. Oh, they're literally hidden. More queens. Oh, hive queens. Okay. So yeah, we'll end up getting into that and whatnot. But anyways, that's gonna be it for this little update. And yeah, I'll catch you guys in the next part. Alrighty, so we are back. I did do a little bit of research, and I just actually earlier in this episode, I kind of messed up by saying we don't really use territory on much. We do use it on upgrades. I keep forgetting that. We don't use it for the physical things, but like upgrades for stuff, not really. There's a good example. But there's things in some of these that I do use it. They use territory somewhere. I swear they're there. there's upgrades down here that use it. Yeah, like here. For example, expansions use a ton of it. Just so you guys know, I keep doing that, and I do apologize. I just always kind of like forget about it and just move on. Mutagens at 52,000, which I believe is more than where we are at. I think we were at like 37,000, so it must have just got some overnight. Again, I'm aiming for like 1 million-ish. I don't know until you guys correct me on that, but that's gonna be my it's gonna be the goal I'm really going for. I don't know how much I should press for the High Empress, or what I should really focus on all that much. I think right off the bat, I mean, we can store up, or we can clone up to a ton of these things. So I think I'm going to store everything we have before we go through and spend these. We only have, actually we have close to that in cocoons. So now if we do the, I was told, I forget which one they said, or someone said one of them was like the best. I don't think it was the Swarm Rush. Not now, but later on in the game, it'll get to the point where you can produce literally months into the future. With more bats and stuff, because I think bats are for that, right? Yeah, ability is more powerful. It says maximum of 60, which I will go up with mutagen, I believe, is what happens. Again, I don't know for sure, but I'm just taking kind of a wild guess towards that. We can buy a ton of these and possibly get this energy up there, which might be the best bet for some of our energy. I just kind of want to clone some. Let's see how much cloning costs. So again, you can spend the energy on this and birth a bunch for 1,600, and I think cloning was at the bottom. Yeah, and that's going to give us way more, because that should give us that much right there. Like with one cast. 12,000 energy. Yeah, see? Even if we put these into the cloning thing, though, or cocoon them, it's not going to make a difference, because we can only clone that much. So there's no point to put that many in there. I mean, we could do that, which puts us actually a little above that. So you got to kind of be careful with that. I kind of want to buy like 5,000 of these at least. Let's just buy 5,000, whatever we were left with. Okay, that's 9. That goes up really slow at this point. I don't know if it's worth us leveling that up anymore. That's not bringing our mutagen up either. Again, I'm not like 100% sure how to get mutagen up. I thought I was just buying like I think it was the upgrades or unlocks or achievements or one of the assortment. Yeah, we're good on that. Anyways, I'm gonna buy a ton of those, which uses up the rest of our hives, which I think is worth doing at this point, just to buying these. We can technically, oh no we can't. No we can't. We need a lot more. I want to say we can technically afford one, we need 10 million. Technically afford one of these, but it wouldn't be worth it because they'd only produce 7 each time. So something like that wouldn't be worth it anyways. But we do need more hive queens. That's kind of the main goal. I don't really care to uncocoon If there's any cheap upgrades, I would do it. No. We can go into the more expensive upgrades after, but you just want to make sure you buy everything that you want. Like, we can get these roaches here, and I can... I think a lot of the upgrades, like all of these upgrades, is straight territory. The expansion just then produce more larvae, so those are really important. This uses just a ton of meat, so we still got to keep working on this tree to produce more meat, basically. But we're probably best off just straight up going in here and literally buying like 25,000 roaches. Oh, we don't have the meat for it. Why does it show it's an option? But then it lets me buy that. That's 25,000. Like, I don't know why that would have been an issue. I'm confused on why it says that. Again, I don't know if it has to do with like the twin upgrades or something. Because I guess I would only be buying so many. I just don't know why they word it differently. I don't know. Either way, we have a ton of roaches and they're clearly going to take up, I would say, literally all this. I think once you get into the new one, it's not worth buying like a lower one. Even if I could go in here and buy, I mean, we'll experiment with 50,000 of them. But like 50,000 of those things, I guess it did kind of widen that more. I don't know how worth it is upgrading other stuff. Like, alright, we'll go buy 1,000,000 of those. Whatever. Alright, maybe it is a good idea. Maybe now that I'm on the 2s, though, don't buy any of like these, for example. Although, I'll test it with the 10%. I think that's a 10% button, so they started coming in here. I don't know. Maybe it is still worth upgrading old stuff. These guys, I could see it 100% not being worth, though. Right? Yeah, they didn't like do anything. Maybe like your last, I don't know, 6 to 8, maybe. I don't know. Like coming even with these guys. I mean, the goons are like, I think you're better off just getting like the roaches. Like if I just saved up about more roaches, which just needs more meat, I think we'd be better off. Although I can buy a ton of locusts, and technically that does produce quite a bit more territory here. So it's really hard to kind of say how I should be spending, or what if I should only focus on one, or just my last like couple. We'll go with that. Nonetheless, we really can't buy many of those. We can come in here and just buy a ton of these, though. Which actually gives us an achievement, which didn't give us more mutagen. I'm going to have to look more into the mutagen thing and see exactly where it comes from. I know it went up. That definitely went up, for sure. We can buy a ton of those now, which should build up more. And that's kind of the plan. I spent all the larvae, which is cool, so we don't really have any of that. Can I buy any of the upgrades? 2 of the cheapest upgrades, sure, which brought this down a bit, but that'll make more... was upgrades for hives, so that'll make more of those. I don't want to buy the expensive upgrades like off the bat because I might spend like hive queens. For example, there's nests. There's 2 in here actually. This costs a ton of nests. It actually is like, yeah. See, that's probably not worth it until it's considered cheap. I think we're gonna be smart continuing doing things like that. So upon the game getting to the point where I was getting kind of bored of it, I'm already getting kind of like excited about it again. We'll get that at the 1500. But the game's, I don't know, I'm torn like between the idea of it. Do I need to up the storage? I don't think so, because I already store like a ton, right? We make like none. Oh, here. Yeah, I mean, yeah, we can store so much. We definitely don't need more night bugs. That is for sure. We just need to make more, which is buying these. Oh, this did go up out of no... Dude, I missed... I didn't do anything. What happened? It's got to go up for something. Like, something's got to happen. Just make it happen. And I just don't know what it is. We're going to have to get up to afford, like, a bunch of these hive empresses. And then buying just, like, one, probably. Just to slowly start accumulate, like, overnight. It would take so long for it to build back up, so... Again, we can't really... Cocooning more, there's not tons of a point to. Again, we can cuckoo sun, and like, that does nothing to us. But, yeah, it's going to be probably about it. We can buy more of those just because we have the money for it right now. And, yeah, that's going to be it for this episode, guys. If you guys did enjoy, please smash the like button. As always, catch you guys later. Peace.